Imagine yourself face to face with majestic beings that once ruled the world, but today are nothing more than shadows in old photographs. This video takes you on a unique journey, revealing the final images of 9 extinct animals that have disappeared forever, leaving an irreparable void on our planet. These creatures carry forgotten stories that make us question what we are losing in the present. As each image appears on the screen, you will feel the weight of the past and the urgency to protect the future. What caused their extinction? And what does this say about the fate that awaits us? This is the moment to confront these questions, because what you are about to see may forever change the way you view the world around you. Don't miss a second, as every detail matters in this impactful and urgent revelation. Check if you are already subscribed to my channel. I would be delighted to have you with me always. Animal number 1, the Megalodon. Imagine a sea giant, a creature so immense and powerful that it made the waters tremble with its presence. This colossus is the Megalodon, a prehistoric shark that ruled the oceans around 3.6 million years ago. Its name means big tooth, and it is not without reason. The Megalodon's teeth were gigantic, some reaching the size of an adult hand. Now, try to imagine a row of these natural weapons, ready to tear apart anything that dared to cross its path. The Megalodon was the largest predator ever to exist in the oceans. It is estimated that it could reach over 18 meters in length, nearly 3 times the size of a modern great white shark. To put this in perspective, it was larger than a school bus. Just its dorsal fin, the one we see breaking the surface in shark movies, could be bigger than an adult person. The jaw of this giant was so powerful that it could crush bones and shells with ease. But the Megalodon was not just big, it was the apex predator. Its diet included whales, dolphins, and other large marine animals. Imagine a shark so large it could devour an entire whale. And more than just size and strength, the Megalodon was a cunning hunter. It likely attacked by surprise, emerging from the depths to snatch its prey with impressive speed. Its bites were so powerful they could tear apart a whale in a matter of seconds. Scientists believe the Megalodon lived in all the world's oceans, from warm tropical waters to the coldest seas. It ruled the seas without fear of any other animal. At that time, the ocean was a very different place from what we know today. Imagine waters teeming with prehistoric creatures, where the Megalodon was the undisputed king. But what happened to this incredible creature? How did such a dominant predator come to disappear? There are many theories about its extinction. Some scientists believe significant climate changes cooled the oceans, drastically reducing the amount of prey available to the Megalodon. Others suggest that the emergence of new species of whales and smaller, more agile sharks adapted to the changing environment may have contributed to the downfall of this giant. Another intriguing theory is that the Megalodon was simply a victim of time. As the seas changed and ocean currents transformed, the environment in which it thrived began to vanish. Without adequate prey and with adverse environmental conditions, the Megalodon may have faced difficulties adapting, leading to its decline. Despite being extinct for millions of years, the Megalodon continues to captivate people worldwide. Its fossils, especially the enormous teeth, are found in various parts of the globe and are highly sought after by collectors and scientists. These teeth are a testament to the power and mystery surrounding this incredible predator. And of course, human imagination hasn't let the Megalodon be forgotten. It appears in books, films, and television programs as a sea monster, a creature so fearsome that it still makes us think twice before entering the water. After all, who hasn't had that shiver while swimming in the sea, wondering what might be lurking in the depths? The Megalodon is more than just an extinct shark. It is a symbol of the mystery and power that the oceans still hold. Even after millions of years, its legacy remains alive, reminding us that no matter how much we think we know about the world, there will always be something in the depths that will surprise us. Animal number 2, the woolly mammoth. Picture a world covered in ice, where vast frozen plains stretch as far as the eye can see. This was the home of the woolly mammoth, a majestic creature that roamed the earth thousands of years ago during the Ice Age. The woolly mammoth, a distant relative of the elephants we know today, was one of the most impressive giants of this icy world. Covered in thick, long hair that protected it from freezing temperatures, the woolly mammoth was a true walking fortress. Its fur could grow up to nearly a meter in length, and beneath it was a layer of fat up to 10 centimeters thick, which helped to insulate heat and keep the body warm. Imagine an animal so well prepared for the cold that it could survive in the most extreme conditions ever to exist on Earth. The woolly mammoth wasn't just large, it was colossal. These animals could reach up to 4 meters in height and weigh around 6 tons, which is heavier than a car. Its enormous curved tusks, which could grow up to 5 meters in length, were used to dig through the snow in search of food, such as grasses and shrubs that grew beneath the icy layer. These tusks were also powerful weapons, used in battles between males during mating season or to defend against predators like saber-toothed tigers. Despite its intimidating size, the woolly mammoth was a peaceful herbivore, spending much of its time grazing and moving in large herds in search of food. These herds, led by an older female, were close-knit and protected each other from the dangers of the harsh environment in which they lived. Picture the scene: a vast snow-covered plain, with dozens of woolly mammoths marching together, their gigantic footprints marking the frozen ground. Life for the woolly mammoth was not easy. They faced long, harsh winters, with snowstorms and temperatures that could drop well below zero. Even so, these cold-adapted animals thrived for thousands of years. But over time, the world began to change. Temperatures slowly started to rise, and the ice began to melt. The environment that the woolly mammoth knew and was perfectly adapted to began to disappear. As the ice melted, the great frozen plains gave way to forests and swamps. The plants that the mammoths depended on began to vanish, and they were forced to move to new areas in search of food. Additionally, the arrival of the first humans in their region brought new challenges. Humans hunted mammoths for their meat, skin, and bones, which were used to make clothing, tools, and shelters. These combined factors, climate change and hunting pressure, led to the woolly mammoth's extinction around 4,000 years ago. Their last refuges were on isolated Arctic islands, where small populations managed to survive for some time before disappearing completely. The extinction of the mammoths marked the end of an era, a time when giants ruled the Earth. Despite their disappearance, woolly mammoths continue to fascinate humanity. Their carcasses, preserved in the Siberian permafrost, are occasionally found, with their skin, fur, and even stomach contents still intact, frozen in time. These discoveries give us a unique glimpse into how these animals lived and allow us to study these colossal creatures of the past up close. Today, science is exploring the possibility of bringing the woolly mammoth back to life through cloning and genetic engineering, using preserved DNA found in frozen carcasses. Although this idea sounds like something out of a science fiction film, it reminds us of the impact these animals had on the world and our ongoing desire to understand and perhaps revive this lost part of our history. The woolly mammoth is not just a memory of ancient times. It is a symbol of resilience, adaptation, and the power of nature. Its story is a reminder of how the world changes and how species, no matter how strong they may seem, are vulnerable to the forces of nature and time. Animal number 3, the dodo. Imagine a lush, isolated island in the middle of the Indian Ocean, where white sandy beaches meet dense forests and majestic mountains. This tropical paradise was home to a unique creature, the dodo, a bird that, despite its peculiar appearance, was an essential part of this unique ecosystem. The dodo inhabited the island of Mauritius, a land rich in biodiversity, where it reigned as one of the largest and most curious inhabitants. The dodo was a flightless bird, a fact that made it all the more intriguing. Standing about a meter tall and weighing around 20 kilograms, it had a robust body, short, strong legs, and a long, curved beak. Its body was covered in grayish-blue feathers, and it had a short, fluffy tail, giving it a unique and unmistakable appearance. Despite its inability to fly, the dodo was perfectly adapted to the environment of Mauritius, where it lived peacefully, free from the threat of predators. The dodo's diet was simple, but well-suited to its habitat. It primarily fed on fallen fruits, seeds, and roots found on the forest floor. With its powerful beak, it could crack open tough shells and access the nutritious insides of fruits, something few other animals could do. This made the dodo an important part of the island's life cycle, helping to disperse seeds and contribute to the regeneration of the local vegetation. Despite its tranquil appearance, the dodo was a survivor of the natural changes that occurred on the island over thousands of years. Its ability to adapt to the environment allowed it to thrive for a long time in Mauritius. However, this stability was shattered with the arrival of humans in the 16th century. The first European explorers who landed on Mauritius brought with them something the dodo had never faced before: the threat of hunting an invasive species. The sailors saw the dodo as an easy source of food, and its lack of fear towards humans made it an even easier target. Additionally, rats, dogs, and pigs brought by the ships quickly spread across the island, preying on dodo eggs and competing for resources. The dodo, which had once lived in harmony with its environment, saw its world turned upside down. Within just a few decades, this bird, which had thrived for so long, was driven to the brink of extinction. By 1681, only about 80 years after the arrival of humans, the last dodo was seen. The bird, which had never had reason to fear, became one of the first documented victims of human activity, and thus disappeared forever. Today, the dodo is remembered as a powerful symbol of extinction and the devastating consequences human actions can have on nature. Despite its extinction, the legacy of the dodo lives on. It serves as a constant reminder of the importance of protecting the species that still exist and reflecting on the impact we have on the world around us. The story of the dodo, though sad, is also a crucial lesson for humanity. It teaches us that every species, no matter how well adapted it seems, can be vulnerable to changes it cannot foresee. The dodo, with its peculiar appearance and vital role in Mauritius, was a natural wonder, and its loss is a testament to the consequences of ignoring the fragility of the natural balance. Even though the dodo disappeared more than 3 centuries ago, its name and image endure in our culture as a symbol of a world we must care for so that it does not vanish in the same way. The story of this bird is a constant reminder of the need to act with responsibility and respect for nature, ensuring that future generations can learn from the mistakes of the past and protect the wonders we still have. Animal number 4, Tasmanian Tiger. In a land filled with mysteries and wonders, where eucalyptus trees sway to the rhythm of the wind and deserts stretch for endless miles, there lived a creature that seemed to have stepped out of legend. The Tasmanian tiger, also known as the thylacine, was as intriguing as it was rare. A predator that moved silently through the dense forests and open plains of Australia and Tasmania. Its story, however, is a blend of awe and tragedy, a tale of survival in a world that was changing rapidly. The thylacine, despite its name, was not a tiger, but a carnivorous marsupial, one of the largest that ever existed. Imagine an animal with the size and build of a large dog, but with the characteristic stripes of a tiger adorning its back. These stripes, numbering between 13 and 20, were more than just an aesthetic feature. They served as camouflage, helping the thylacine blend into its surroundings while stalking its prey. With a powerful jaw capable of opening to an impressive angle, the Tasmanian tiger was a nocturnal hunter, preferring to search for food under the cover of darkness. It fed on kangaroos, small mammals, and birds, using its ability to run long distances to wear down its prey before delivering the final blow. It was a solitary hunter, moving silently, almost like a ghost, through the environment it once dominated. The thylacine had another fascinating trait. It was a marsupial, which meant that the females carried their young in a pouch, much like kangaroos. However, this pouch opened towards the back, a perfect adaptation for an animal that spent much of its time on the move. The young, small, and vulnerable were transported safely until they were ready to explore the world on their own. But, like so many other stories of animals that once inhabited our planet, the thylacine's tale took a sad turn with the arrival of humans. When European settlers arrived in Australia and Tasmania, they brought with them a new order of things, one that the thylacine was not prepared to face. Hunting, driven by the mistaken belief that the thylacine was a threat to sheep flocks, led to its relentless persecution. Additionally, the introduction of dogs and the destruction of its natural habitat further accelerated its decline. With each passing year, the number of thylacines dwindled. Those that had survived through millennia of climatic and environmental changes could not withstand the pressure from humans. The last known thylacine died in captivity in 1936 at the Hobart Zoo in Tasmania, marking the end of a species that once ruled the Australian forests and fields with grace and power. Today, the thylacine is more than just a memory of a fascinating creature. It is a symbol of the devastating impact humanity can have on nature. Its extinction reminds us of the fragility of the natural balance and the responsibility we have to protect the species that still share this planet with us. Despite its extinction, the Tasmanian tiger continues to live on in people's imaginations. Occasional sightings are still reported, keeping alive the hope that in some remote place, a thylacine may have survived, hidden from the modern world. These reports, though unconfirmed, fuel the fascination and desire to preserve what remains of the wild. The Tasmanian tiger is not just a story of loss, it is a warning. It is a call for us to respect and protect life in all its forms so that we are not the authors of yet another ecological tragedy. The thylacine leaves us with a powerful legacy, the reminder that no matter how impressive a creature may be, it is vulnerable to the forces of destruction it does not understand. Its story, forever etched in the pages of natural history, is a testament to the impact of human actions and a reminder of the urgent need for conservation. Animal number 5, moa. In the lush and mysterious lands of New Zealand, where mountains touch the sky and the forests are dense and green, there lived a creature that seemed to have stepped out of an ancient tale. This was the moa, a bird so large and impressive that it became a living legend among the people who inhabited those lands. The moas were gigantic, flightless birds, true titans of the avian world, that roamed the New Zealand landscape with an imposing presence. Imagine walking through a forest where tall, ancient trees stretch as far as the eye can see. Suddenly, before you, appears a creature the size of a small house, with sturdy legs and an elongated neck, easily reaching the leaves of the tallest trees. This was the moa, one of the largest birds ever to exist on Earth. Some species of moa could reach an impressive 3.6 meters in height and weigh over 250 kilograms, surpassing any other bird in size. Yet, despite their colossal size, the moas were peaceful creatures. These herbivorous birds fed primarily on leaves, fruits, and branches, using their long necks to reach the highest vegetation. The moa played a crucial role in New Zealand's ecosystem, helping to shape the vegetation around them as they moved slowly through the forest, consuming large amounts of plants and dispersing seeds wherever they went. Life for the moas was tranquil until something changed dramatically. For thousands of years, they lived without natural predators, reigning supreme over the lands of New Zealand. However, this began to change with the arrival of the first humans to the region, known as the Maori. To these early inhabitants, the moas became an important source of food. Their rich and abundant meat was highly valued, and their bones and feathers were used to make tools and ornaments. The intensive hunting of moas by the Maori, combined with the destruction of their natural habitat for agriculture, brought these majestic birds to the brink of extinction. In just a few hundred years, a creature that once dominated the landscape was reduced to nothing more than bones buried in the earth. By the 14th century, the last moas had disappeared, leaving behind a void in the ecosystem and a shadow in New Zealand's history. The extinction of the moas had consequences that extended far beyond the loss of a species. Without the moas to disperse seeds and control vegetation, New Zealand's forests began to change. The natural balance was disturbed, and new invasive species brought by humans began to dominate the landscape. Today, the moas are remembered as a symbol of the impact that human arrival can have on the environment. They teach us an important lesson about the fragility of life and the need to protect the species we still have. Their stories, passed down through generations by the Maori, continue to live on in New Zealand's culture and legends, as a silent reminder of the greatness that once inhabited those lands. Although the moas disappeared so long ago, they still spark the imagination and curiosity of people around the world. Scientists and historians continue to study the fossilized remains of these giant birds, trying to unravel the mysteries of their life and death. And so, the moa, the silent giant that once walked through New Zealand's forests, remains alive in the collective memory of humanity as a symbol of the grandeur of nature and the importance of preserving what remains of it. Animal number 6. In ancient times, long before cities of concrete rose and fields of cultivation spread far and wide, there was a majestic animal that dominated the vast landscapes of Europe, Asia, and North Africa. This animal was the Orox, a wild bovine of imposing size and strength, whose stories were shaped by its dominant presence and its connection to the development of modern domestic cattle. Imagine an ancient plain covered with dense, rich vegetation, where groups of large bovines roamed freely. The Orox were true giants among bovines, with males reaching up to 1.8 meters at the shoulder and weighing up to 1,000 kilograms. Their bodies were covered in dark, resilient fur, and their heads were adorned with large, upward curving horns that could reach an impressive 80 centimeters in length. These horns were not just a striking feature, but also essential tools for survival, used in battles for territory and status within the groups. Aurochs lived in large herds that moved across the vast landscapes of forests and grasslands. These herds were led by a dominant male who protected the group and guided the search for food. They fed on a varied diet that included grasses, leaves, and shrubs. Imagine a herd of aurochs slowly advancing through the vegetation, their large hooves leaving deep impressions in the earth, while their heads scanned the environment in search of food. Life for the aurochs was not without challenges. They faced natural predators such as wolves and bears, who often attempted to hunt them. But the true danger for these magnificent animals came with the arrival of humans. Over time, human populations began to expand and modify the environment around them. The aurochs, once free to roam vast areas, found themselves increasingly confined, facing habitat loss due to agriculture and intensive hunting. Humans, fascinated by these impressive bovines, began to domesticate the aurochs. Through natural selection and breeding, these ancient bovines gave rise to the domestic cattle we know today. However, the domestication of the aurochs came at a cost. The impact of hunting and competition with agricultural expansion placed increasing pressure on their populations. By the 17th century, after years of excessive hunting and habitat loss, the last known aurochs died in 1627 in the Jaktro forest in Poland. This event marked the end of a species that had dominated the landscapes of Europe and Asia for millennia. Despite their extinction, the aurochs left a lasting legacy. Their role as the ancestors of modern domestic cattle is an important part of our agricultural history. Today, the descendants of the aurochs, which include various breeds of cattle, still carry traces of their imposing heritage. Scholars and historians continue to explore the life and impact of the aurochs, studying fossils and historical records to better understand the role these giants played in their time. The aurochs are not just symbols of a distant past. They represent the interconnectedness between humans and the natural world. Their story is a reminder of the fragility of species and the influence human actions can have on the environment. The legacy of the aurochs, therefore, continues to resonate through the generations, inspiring greater respect for wildlife and heightened awareness of the importance of preserving our planet for future generations. As we contemplate the images of modern cattle herds grazing peacefully in the fields, it's impossible not to feel a connection to those ancient aurochs that once walked majestically across the earth. They remain a vital part of our history, a testament to the lasting impact an animal can have on the evolution of life and the shaping of our world. Animal number 7, quagga. Long ago in the vast and sun-drenched plains of South Africa, there was an animal that both enchanted and intrigued everyone who encountered it. This animal was the quagga, a unique subspecies of zebra known for its distinctive stripes that covered only the front part of its body, creating a fascinating and unmistakable appearance. Picture an African plain where the vegetation is dense and the sky is a deep blue. Amidst this vibrant landscape, you might see a group of quaggas moving gracefully. While common zebras have stripes covering their entire bodies, the quagga's stripes began at the neck and extended to the front part of its flanks, gradually fading away until the rest of its body was a uniform brown. It was as if the quagga was wearing a striped costume that faded along its body, giving it a distinct and elegant appearance. The quagga was slightly smaller than the zebras we know today, with a robust build and strong legs, adapted for running swiftly across the open plains. Its coat was a light brown, with the front stripes in a darker brown that contrasted beautifully with the rest of its body. These stripes were not only a striking visual feature, but also helped to camouflage the quagga in the shadows and brush, protecting it from predators lurking in the savannas. During the late 19th century, the quagga faced an uncertain future. Human expansion brought drastic changes to its habitat. Lands that were once vast and wild were transformed into areas for cultivation and pasture, while intense hunting began to threaten the population. The quagga, already a rare and enigmatic creature, saw its situation become increasingly precarious. Hunters, fascinated by the quagga's unique appearance and its difficulty in escaping due to its relatively small size, began hunting it in large numbers. Quaggas were hunted for their meat and hides, which were valuable to the local inhabitants. The loss of habitat and indiscriminate hunting combined to drive the quagga population into a steep decline. Despite efforts to protect them, quaggas gradually disappeared. The last known quagga died at the Artis Zoo in Amsterdam in 1883. This sad event marked the end of a unique species that had roamed the plains of South Africa for centuries. The story of the quagga is a powerful reminder of the fragility of species and the devastating impact that human activity can have on wildlife. However, the legacy of the quagga has not been completely erased. Today, scientists and conservationists carefully study its preserved skins and skeletons, trying to learn more about its biology and ecology. In an effort to revive the quagga, conservation projects and breeding programs have been working to bring back quagga-like characteristics using modern zebras as a base. Although the original quagga disappeared from the earth more than a century ago, its story continues to inspire and teach. Its image, with its unique front stripes and enigmatic nature, lives on as a symbol of the beauty and diversity of the wildlife that once inhabited South Africa. Reflecting on the quagga reminds us that preserving our natural habitats and protecting species are essential to ensuring that future generations can appreciate the rich tapestry of wildlife on our planet. The quagga, with its distinct presence and tragic fate, continues to fascinate and inspire us to protect and cherish the incredible diversity of our natural world. Its story is a testament to the fleeting beauty of life and the importance of learning from the past to safeguard the future. Animal number 8, cave lion. Many millennia ago, when the dense forests and vast steppes of Europe and Asia were home to immense and intriguing creatures, a great feline roamed these lands with imposing majesty. This feline was the cave lion, a prehistoric animal whose presence dominated the landscape and whose stories echo through time. Imagine a vast landscape where the vegetation is dense and the sky is often covered with heavy clouds. Among the tall trees and rocky hills, the cave lion, with its colossal size and impressive appearance, traversed these ancient territories. This lion was not just larger than the lions we know today, it was a true giant of the feline world. Compared to modern lions, the cave lion was about 25% larger, with males weighing up to 300 kilograms and measuring over 3 meters in length, excluding the tail. The cave lion, also known as Panthera spelaea, had an appearance that reflected its grandeur. Its robust and muscular body was covered with dense and thick fur, adapted to endure the harsh cold of the Ice Age. Its paws were large and powerful, with sharp claws that allowed it to hunt and dominate its prey with ease. The cave lion's head was especially striking, with strong jaws and large teeth capable of piercing and tearing through the flesh of its victims with crushing force. This magnificent predator was a master of hunting techniques, using its strength and agility to capture large herbivores that roamed the landscape, such as mammoths and woolly rhinoceroses. The cave lion was a cunning and strategic hunter, likely hunting in small groups and using coordinated tactics to encircle and bring down its prey. The cave lion's presence was not limited to the vast plains and forests. This predator also found refuge in deep, dark caves, which served as shelter and resting places. The traces left by these lions in the caves, such as bones and claw marks, provide valuable clues about their lives and behavior. In some caves, prehistoric artifacts, even show that early humans cohabited with these great felines, creating an environment of tense and fascinating coexistence. However, like all epic tales, that of the cave lion also had its end. During the late Pleistocene, around 12,000 years ago, the climate began to change drastically. The dense forests and vast steppes gave way to a more temperate environment, less favorable for these great creatures. Climate changes, combined with the pressure of human hunting, led to the decline of large herbivore populations, which were the primary food source for the cave lion. With the reduction in its prey and the changing climate, the cave lion faced increasing difficulties. Competition with other predators and the additional pressure from human hunting contributed to its eventual disappearance. These giant felines, which once dominated the prehistoric scene, were gradually replaced by new species and adapted to a rapidly changing world. Despite its extinction, the cave lion continues to captivate people's imaginations. Its images and fossils discovered in caves and archaeological sites offer us a fascinating glimpse into an ancient world and the impressive predators that inhabited it. Today, studies of the cave lion help scientists better understand past ecosystems and the evolution of large felines. The story of the cave lion is a powerful reminder of the grandeur of prehistoric life and the complexity of ancient ecosystems. With its strength, size, and majestic presence, the cave lion remains a symbol of the magnificence and mystery of the natural world, captivating and inspiring all who encounter its history. Animal number 9, Macarenia. Around 10 million years ago, in the vast plains and forests of South America, an intriguing mammal roamed the land, captivating the imagination of both ancient inhabitants and modern scientists. This animal is known as Macarenia, a creature that seemed to have stepped out of a prehistoric fairy tale, with an appearance reminiscent of a blend between a camel and a horse. Let us travel back in time to the late Pleistocene, a period when the Earth was teeming with an incredible diversity of creatures. Among these landscapes, we encounter Macarenia, an animal with a robust body, long legs, and a peculiar head. Imagine a camel with a shorter neck and a body more akin to that of a horse. Macarenia had a skeletal structure that made it appear as a fascinating hybrid of both animals. The body of Macarenia was covered with thick fur, which helped protect it from the variable temperatures and harsh weather of the region. Standing approximately 2.5 meters tall and reaching up to 3 meters in length, this herbivorous mammal was one of the largest inhabitants of South America during its time. Its appearance was marked by a relatively short neck and a head that resembled that of a horse, with large nostrils projecting outward, suggesting it had a keen sense of smell. Macarenia was a peaceful herbivore, whose diet consisted of leaves, fruits, and a variety of vegetation. Its teeth and jaws were adapted to grind and consume a range of plants found in the abundant forests and plains of South America. What made Macarenia even more interesting was its feeding behavior. It likely used its large nostrils and long, flexible lip to reach high branches and leaves, much like some modern animals in similar habitats. A distinctive feature of Macarenia was its size and the shape of its legs. With long and relatively slender legs, Macarenia was an agile runner, capable of moving swiftly across the vast open landscapes. Its feet were adapted to support its great weight and to traverse various terrains, from open fields to more rugged areas. Macarenia's habitat included a wide range of environments, from tropical forests to drier, more open regions. It lived in a world full of other impressive animals, such as the gigantic ground sloths and enormous glyptodonts, which were its prehistoric neighbors. Macarenia was a social animal, living in groups that assisted each other in finding food and protecting against potential predators. However, like many animals of its time, the story of Macarenia ended sadly. As the late Pleistocene approached, South America experienced significant climatic changes. The climate began to warm, and the vegetation changed drastically. Dense forests and grasslands were replaced by a drier, more arid environment that was less favorable for Macarenia. In addition to environmental changes, the impact of humans also began to affect wildlife. Early humans arriving in South America brought new hunting techniques and altered the balance of ecosystems. The combination of climatic changes and hunting pressure contributed to the gradual disappearance of Macrauchenia. Despite its extinction, Macrauchenia continues to fascinate paleontologists and delight people with its unique characteristics and special place in Earth's history. Its fossils, found in various parts of South America, provide valuable insights into life during the Pleistocene and how ancient animals adapted to their environment. The story of Macrauchenia is a powerful reminder of the complexity and beauty of Earth's natural past. This herbivorous mammal, with its peculiar appearance and fascinating way of life, continues to inspire curiosity and admiration, connecting us with an ancient and mysterious world that once inhabited our planet.